starts with chaos and comedy. The episode starts with another classic Zatima cold opening, and honestly, these openings continue to be one of the best parts of the series. Right away, the episode balances comedy and relationship chaos perfectly. Angela and Charles are enjoying the aftermath of their night together, while upstairs Zac is desperately trying to have a romantic morning with Fatima, but the pregnancy bump completely ruins his plans. The entire scene was hilarious because Zac keeps trying different positions while Fatima is clearly uncomfortable, and eventually, he just gives up completely. Moments like this are why fans love Zac and Fatima so much. After years of drama on Sisters, finally seeing them in light-hearted relationship moments feels rewarding. But the comedy gets even funnier once they realize somebody downstairs can hear everything. Connie hears everything. The moment Connie yells from downstairs that she can hear them was easily one of the funniest scenes in the episode. And honestly, the awkward silence afterward made the entire moment even better. But once Fatima heads downstairs, the episode starts shifting back into emotional territory. Connie tries helping around the house by making breakfast, but instead completely destroys the kitchen in the process. The visual alone was comedy gold. And when Fatima tells her, "After what happened to your kitchen, I need you to stay out of mine," I'm not even going to lie, that line took me out. But underneath all the jokes, the scene quietly reminded viewers how much Connie is struggling physically and emotionally after the fire and cancer diagnosis. And once the CPS paperwork gets revealed, things immediately become serious again. Fatima steps up again. After reviewing the paperwork, Fatima realizes Connie has a court hearing the very same day regarding her children. And honestly, this is where Fatima once again proves why she's carrying this season emotionally. Despite being pregnant, stressed, recently hospitalized, and emotionally drained herself, she immediately shifts into problem-solving mode. She starts planning outfits, legal strategy, and preparing Connie for court like it's second nature. What makes these scenes so powerful is that Fatima doesn't help Connie because she has to. She helps because that's genuinely who she is. But at the same time, Zac continuing to bring more stress into Fatima's life while constantly telling her to rest is becoming more and more contradictory. Zac's good intentions create more problems. One thing this episode highlighted perfectly is how Zac's heart is usually in the right place, but his execution creates chaos. He wants Fatima resting and avoiding stress, but at the same time, he's the one who brought Connie into the house, creating even more responsibilities for Fatima to take on. That contradiction continues showing up throughout the episode. Still, the chemistry between Zac and Fatima remains one of the strongest parts of the show. Even during stressful moments, they still feel believable together. And honestly, the bodyguard situation only added more comedy to the mess. Angela and Charles, then everything falls apart. When Zac calls Charles and Angela answers the phone, the reactions from Fatima and Zac were absolutely priceless. But unfortunately, this is also where the episode started losing momentum for me. Because once Bryce arrives at Angela's house, the storyline immediately becomes frustrating. Bryce once again ignores boundaries, pushes emotional manipulation, and continues acting possessive even after Angela repeatedly tells him she doesn't want a relationship. And honestly, the entire situation feels exhausting at this point. The proposal-like confession, the jealousy over Charles, the emotional guilt tripping, it all felt like watching the same cycle repeat itself again. And when Angela suddenly suggests trying friendship again after everything, that's the exact moment the episode lost several points for me personally. Why the Bryce storyline doesn't work. The biggest issue with the Angela and Bryce storyline is that it keeps rewarding unhealthy behavior. Bryce constantly crosses boundaries, refuses to move on emotionally, and keeps inserting himself into Angela's life no matter how many times she rejects him. And yet somehow, the show keeps pulling them back together. It honestly feels less like romantic tension and more like emotional dependency at this point. And the worst part is that it feels obvious where this storyline may be heading next. With Angela's weight loss injections already being teased earlier this season, it almost feels like the show is setting up a medical emergency scenario where Bryce saves her, leading to another forced emotional connection. If that's really where the story goes, it could end up being one of the weakest writing choices of the season. The courtroom scenes save the episode. Thankfully, the courtroom scenes completely pulled the episode back together. Watching Fatima step into legal mode while helping Connie was honestly one of the strongest parts of the episode. The tension immediately rises once CPS reveals they had already been monitoring Connie before the apartment fire happened. That detail changed everything, because suddenly this wasn't just about bad luck anymore. Now there were allegations of neglect and concerns about the children being left unsupervised. And honestly, the moment Connie revealed her son accidentally caused the fire while cooking alone, you could immediately tell this case just became much harder to fight. Fatima and Connie's dynamic continues to improve. Handled really well was the growing relationship between Fatima and Connie. At first, these two seemed like complete opposites, but now their dynamic feels layered and surprisingly emotional. Connie constantly tries acting tough and independent, while Fatima keeps forcing her to accept support and help. And honestly, those little moments where Fatima has to calm Connie down in court felt incredibly realistic, because Connie clearly isn't used to trusting people, while Fatima understands the legal system enough to know when silence matters more than pride. And right when things finally seemed hopeful, the episode ended with another major problem. Tony gets taken away. Just when the group starts feeling optimistic after court, a police officer suddenly approaches asking about the black vehicle outside, and immediately everybody knows something is wrong. The tension in this scene was honestly done perfectly because Tony starts panicking before anyone even explains what's happening. That alone told viewers everything they needed to know. And once the officer takes him away, it becomes painfully obvious that Tony's past actions are finally catching up to him, which means the fallout from the barbershop murder storyline may only just be beginning. And honestly, that cliffhanger ended the episode on a much stronger note than the Bryce storyline did.